What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Friday, March 17th, 2023. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup. Who is here? I want to say good morning to Brian, Rebecca, Tommy, Frank, Andy, and all the rest of you out there, whether you are watching live later or listening. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming by. I hope you had a solid, productive, profitable, happy, enjoyable, skillful Thursday. And I hope you're looking forward to at least as good of a Friday and an even better weekend because you deserve it. I like the quotes that we had yesterday. The conversation we had around, I guess, everything was pretty solid. And we'll see what today brings us. Did you check out yesterday's episode of Martial Arts Radio? None of you wrote me feedback. Made me sad. But hopefully, actually, that may not be true. Some of you may have written me late in the day and I didn't see the email. I will not look at email yet today. But if you did not, please do check out yesterday's episode. It's an important episode, and it's one that I do need your feedback on. Okay. Good morning, Dennis. Kelly says, happy St. Patrick's Day. That it is. And Dennis says, happy Friday. I do have my Friday mug. I do not believe this is in the store anymore. Just a heads up, when mugs go live, you better get one. There's a new mug in the store. There's a Friday the 13th mug. It's kind of fun. You should check it out. I will be getting one, and you'll see it on the show, but yeah, just a reminder, you see something in the Whistlekick store, shirt or whatever, that you like, don't wait. Because most of those things are limited edition. Okay? We don't just make a design and leave it there for 5 years. Well, some of them we do. Most of them they go up for a few months. So don't wait. Brian says, happy Fry Patrick's Day. Somehow that makes me think of French fries. I don't know why. Fry Patrick. Friar Patrick? We can kind of get there. Friar Patrick is probably pretty accurate if you dig into what the symbolic legend of St. Patrick actually means. Friar Patrick. Yeah, I could go with that. Brian also says Saint Yay, which sounds a little similar, sounds a little close to what Kanye has changed his name to. So let's not go there. And Tommy says French fries. Oh, yum. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of French fries. I don't get them often. When I go out, I try not to. I think we've talked about this before, but every single thing that you would get food fried in, with the exception of animal fats, is bad for you. There's nothing good about any of those oils. Which stinks because fried food's amazing. It really does. I'm not going to deny it. And I'm not going to say that I don't eat fried food sometimes, but I never used to be one of those people when they would come up and say, well, what would you like on the side? You know, French fries, onion rings, hush puppies, sweet potato fries, list out 26 fried things. Or do you want the coleslaw or the mashed potatoes or the side salad? We almost can't even say salad. Lately, I've been the guy getting the salad. You got to pick your battles. Tommy says, I have an air fryer, made awesome no animal. I'm assuming you mean it makes great French fries. Yes, they can that is how I make French fries if I'm making them at home. Comes out great. And for those of you who want to make French fries in an air fryer, here's the key. You have to let the moisture off through the cook cycle. You can't just cook it all at once and expect that they're gonna dry out. They'll be hot and soggy. So I do 10 minutes at 400, open the drawer halfway, let the steam come out, and then I do, for 5 minutes or so, then another 10 minutes at 400, and then if I need to, I'll do another 10 minutes. That dries them out and heats them up. They're awesome. And if you cut them, actual French fry size, they're pretty darn good. Oh, Frank, I love this. He says, there are good ships and wood ships, ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships, and may they always be. And Tommy agrees. Yes, the door open trick. It took me a long time to figure that out. I can't tell you how many times I tried to make French fries and they never came out right. And I think I stumbled on a recipe and I went, oh, that makes sense. It also explains pretty much every disaster I've ever had cooking meals in an oven. That's why that didn't come out right. Oh, that's why that didn't come out right. That's why I cooked that with that and it didn't work out right. Yeah. Because the moisture's got to go somewhere. So what am I doing? Well, what did I do yesterday? Client calls, work, hung out, had a relaxing day, kind of day that I needed. I've been giving this thing some stock. This is my Oura ring. It's been telling me what's going on. Having a hard time getting deep sleep, and I'm working on that, trying to figure out. I think that's the source of some of my problems, because deep sleep is when we actually recover. I might be going to bed too late. It wants me to start going to. It says my bed window is 7:45 to 9:15. I don't know if I can. I'm good with 8:30. I haven't made it to bed at 8:30 lately, but I don't know if I can bring myself to go to bed consistently before 8:30. That's early. But anyway, today got a couple things going on. The house cleaner's coming for the first time in like 6 weeks, and it shows. I do a decent job keeping my house clean. Like I could run through this place in an hour and wouldn't be a big deal, but it's nice having somebody come in and help. And then plumber's coming. We're finishing up part of a project so I can renovate the bathroom. It's been almost a year we've been working on this. Frustrating. And then the rest of the day is just work. Work. I will probably be here doing work much, if not all of the day. I don't think I'm going out tonight for St. Patrick's Day. Going out and getting drunk with a bunch of people I don't really know. Not really my jam. Or my John, depending on where you live. If you're Jenny, it's not my John. If you're everybody else, it's not my jam. Stacy says, time to listen to Barrage's Until We Meet Again as much as possible, and a bit of the Dropkick Murphys. I'll always Dropkick Murphys. Kelly says, looking forward to this weekend, picking up my daughter from college for her last spring break. She graduates this May, and we have tickets to see Hamilton. Can't wait. Oh, that's awesome. It's great. All right. Dennis says, John is our John. Woo. Great. Okay. So if you're named Jenny or Dennis, it can be your John. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to go for a hike. If the weather goes the way I think it's going to, we should get enough snowpack today, and it should melt enough tomorrow that I can actually get to the parking areas and hike. So that's the plan. We'll see if that happens. I haven't been. When did I hike? January. Wow. It's been 2 months. That makes me sad. So yeah, we're going to have to figure something out with that. I'll probably go to the gym later today. Sunday, I've got my improv class. Probably do some meal prep. What else? I don't know. Probably be a light weekend, which I'm okay with. Frank says, I'm more of the Irma Bombeck school of thought in terms of housework. My idea of cleaning is to sweep the room with a glance. I don't enjoy cleaning, but I enjoy helping things find their place. It's like when I move, I don't like packing, but I kind of like unpacking. I like finding where all the things go. Oh, this goes here. No, this doesn't go here. This goes here. And I do it slowly. And it's something that when I lived with people, drove them nuts. They're like, let's get the boxes unpacked. I'm like, well, not yet. Let's unpack a box. Let's do the ones that we need. We need some clothes. We need some dishes. We don't need everything yet. Let's see where things go. Let's let them find their space. Created conflict. Stacy's headed to a tournament tomorrow to help with scorekeeping. Enjoy. Kelly asks, do you pre-clean before the house cleaner comes? I always did, drove the kids nuts. I don't pre-clean, but I will put things away because I want to make sure that she can do her job effectively. And if I don't put things away, she either cleans around them, depending on what they are, or piles them, and then I'm not quite sure where things are. So there is a need to do some prep work. Because I think I've mentioned before, I'm a pile person. And, like I've got a plant that doesn't quite have I don't know where its home is. I decided where it was I didn't like. So it's hanging and it's in the middle of this room over here. And it's very annoying to get to and it has very long vines. And it needs a different home. But I don't know where that is yet. So temporarily, it's going to get moved somewhere else. And it'll hang out. And there are a few things like that I do. So. Kelly says, or Stacy says that she did that too. When I had a cleaner, there was always clean for the cleaner night. And Dennis says, we always do too. Yeah, I think there's also something to be said for you take care of the easy stuff and then they're going to spend their time getting the next layer. All right. It's kind of like practice. You can show up. Let's say you get a private lesson with your martial arts instructor. If you haven't been practicing anything, they're probably going to spend the time with you working on the basic level stuff. But if you've mastered the basic level stuff, or at least are competent at it, you can go further. They're going to apply the same time, but you can access more of their skill. Now, I think some people would look at house cleaning and say, there aren't layers and there isn't skill. Well, trust me, there's definitely layers and there's definitely skill. How do I know there's layers? Sweep your carpet and then vacuum your carpet. Right? There's more. There's always more. That was one of the things I liked about having a Roomba was that running it every day, it kept finding more. Blew my mind how much more it found. And I might get another one for that reason. Tommy says, having a hard time relating to the clean for the cleaner conversation. My house is in decent shape for a single guy with 2 big dogs. I get it. Dog hair. I had a friend visit a couple weeks ago and wasn't very long, a few hours, and I'm finding dog hair still. And it wasn't like a furry dog. It was a lab. Didn't take long. Just excuse me. That's like my 3rd or 4th sneeze in the last 12 hours. So I might be coming down with some. I will address that. Kelly says, my friend owns a motel and it's so hard to find good cleaners. Right now, it's hard to find any skilled labor. You talk to pretty much anybody, whether it's construction or kitchen help. They're all having a hard time. What did I just see? I just saw somebody hiring for a kitchen for $25 an hour. And I'm not going to say what the industry is, but one of my clients is hiring someone that required a two-year degree for this position at 19. I'll tell you, 25 to work in a kitchen is not bad. Honestly, in like a couple nights a week, I might have done it because I actually really like this place. But they wanted weekends too, and I'm not giving up weekends. I used to work in a kitchen. I don't know if I've ever told you all that. Summer between freshman and sophomore year of college, and then a little bit during my sophomore year when I came back for breaks, there was a restaurant in Maine that I worked for. I loved working in a kitchen. It was always busy. It's always stuff to do. You had to manage your time well. I was around good people. It was nice. It was fun. Everybody's talking about dog hair. And Kelly says, yeah, you can work at McDonald's for 18 an hour. Some of them, yeah. I think the cheapest I've seen at McDonald's right now is 14. People don't want to work. Or that's, you know what? I shouldn't say that. People don't want to work as much as they used to. People don't want 6 jobs. You know, here in Vermont, it's cliche that many of us have multiple jobs, but that's not the case in a lot of parts of the country. In a lot of parts of the country, people value their free time much more than I think we culturally do here. There have been points in time, let's see, I think at one point I had like 4 or 5 jobs. Now I'm kind of down to 2, right? My consulting work and Whistle Kick. Those are my 2 jobs. But the consulting work's an interesting umbrella, right? Like I do a lot of different things under that. So maybe I do more than 2 jobs. I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. Now, Frank sent us stuff because it's Friday or Friday. And we love Frank. And I appreciate Frank. And we're going to go through the stuffs from Frank. We're going to start with the jokes. And then we've got some quotes about luck for St. Patrick's Day. Thank you also to Josh for our theme song and to Denise for our audio. We're over here. I'm going to do this. Stacy says, it's not that we don't value free time, it's that we can't afford to live without it. But this happens in the rest of the country too. It's just there's something, and I'm not saying that making a living here in Vermont is easy, but we're not the only place that has it like this. It's a different way of approaching things. It really is. Some of it is that, you know, housing costs and transportation costs because of our density here. Kelly says, after college, I had 4 jobs, had 2 jobs until 7 years ago to do Taekwondo full time. But of course, owning your own business is technically more than 1 job. Yep. And Jenny says, for me, I hate that working so much took me away from my family. It made no sense to work myself to the point where I didn't see my kids, where I was too tired to enjoy their company. I get that. All right. So the jokes. Why did the leprechaun go outside? To sit on his patio. What type of bow cannot be tied? A rainbow. Pour more coffee. What is a leprechaun's favorite type of music? Sham rock and roll. What do ghosts drink on St. Patrick's Day? Booze. What do you call an Irish spider? Paddy Longlegs. When does a leprechaun cross the street? When it turns green. What's the best position for leprechauns to play on a baseball team? Shortstop. What do you call a fake Irish diamond? A shamrock. Why do leprechauns have pots of gold? They like to go first class. Knock, knock. Who's there? Clover. Clover who? Clover here and I'll tell you. What do you call a leprechaun's vacation home? A leprechondo. What do you get when two leprechauns have a conversation? A lot of small talk. Why do leprechauns dislike leftovers? They prefer left clovers. How did the Irish jig get started? Too much water to drink and not enough restrooms. What do you call a bad Irish dance? A jig mistake. Knock, knock. Who's there? Pat. Pat who? Pat on your coat. We're going to the St. Paddy's Day parade. Pat on your coat. Why are leprechauns hard to get along with? They're short-tempered. Now, something I've seen of late is that folks in Ireland do not appreciate calling it St. Paddy's. That they strongly prefer saying the whole thing, St. Patrick's. I cannot verify this, as I've not been to Ireland in 20 years. However, I'm just throwing that out there. That may be information of value to you. Stacy liked the booze one. Dennis liked leprechondo. And Jenny says, I'm assuming this is a joke. Why is Irish stew made with 239 beans? I don't know. Why is it made with 239 beans? All right, Tommy's agreeing. Yes, Patty is very rude. Do you know why? Tommy, can you tell us why? That would be helpful. And Rebecca says that her best friend lives in Ireland and says the same thing. Oh, okay. The whole paddy wagon thing. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, if I'm remembering that correctly, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here, paddy wagon was a derogatory term in early America, picking up Irish immigrants for fighting or being rowdy or simply being Irish. Because what a lot of people don't know about early American history is that, yes, the people came from all over Europe, but there was a pecking order. And the Irish were at the bottom. In fact, I'm not going to get specific because I don't agree with it and I don't want it to come across as if I am. But there have been some statements made relating with some evidence. I'm not going to say that this was just made up on whims, but there has been there have been statements made comparing, these are not mine, the experience of early American Irish settlers to African slaves. That gives you an idea of the direction, in my opinion, not the scope. You may want to do some research. And why is Irish stew made with 239 beans? Because one more would be too farty. Too farty, 240, too farty. That's an interesting squeaky noise. Somebody's car. And Tommy says, yeah, oh yeah, Irish need not apply sign. Yeah. There was some stuff back then. I'm gonna put a hard stop on that conversation because pretty much anywhere else we go with that, the next steps are things that I really don't want to get into on the show. Interesting conversations that I would happily have with people in person, but they're not martial arts related, and we'll end it there. If you want to get, you know what? If you want to watch some amazing martial arts choreography and a wonderful story, support Shannon Lee, and learn a bit about early America, you can watch Warrior the HBO Showtime show. You can check that out. Now, we do have some quotes about luck, and we're going to talk about those. We're going to end off there. And, we'll be a little bit long on today's show. And that's fine, because we have a very open format. And then I have to go shovel snow so the plumber can get to where he needs to get to work on my house. Quotes about luck for St. Patrick's Day. Nope, not this one. Let's close this. Okay. As long as we are lucky, we attribute it to our smartness. Our bad luck, we give the gods credit for. Josh Billings. We should be consistent on that. If we're going to take credit for the good, we have to take credit for the bad. If we're going to lay blame for the bad, we have to lay responsibility for the good. That was something that this concept is fairly new for me. And there have been people in my life, just as I think with all of us, that have wronged me. And someone got me to realize, hey, yes, these things happen. Yes, you feel wronged. Okay. But how did they benefit you? What did they do that was helpful? Ooh, that was a big epiphany. Name the greatest of all inventors. Accident. Mark Twain. I know penicillin was an accident. What else did we discover by accident? What have you discovered by accident? I've definitely discovered some strategies in my sparring that work by accident. Oh, that kick works very well. That's an ugly kick. Okay, we'll keep using it. It's Coffee Friday. I really don't want to shovel. There's so much snow to shovel. I might take out the snowblower. We'll see. We'll see how the shoveling goes, because it's not that far. I have to go maybe 30 feet. We'll see how much this is packed down. I can probably, if it's what I think it is, as long as it's not too bad, I think I can do about 15 minutes. And the last one, remember that sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. That hits pretty close to home for me. How many times have you wanted something, you didn't get it, you were sad, and then fairly quickly went, oh? How many times in your past were you romantically interested in someone and you were convinced that they were the best person in the world for you, and they decided that you were not the person for them, and they went to be with someone else, and then something happened and you went, oh, I'm so glad I'm not dealing with that. It's happened a few times for me, and it's happened plenty of times not in a romantic sense. A huge amount of Whistlekick's progress is owed to accidents. And the biggest one I can think of, I think you all know this, maybe you don't remember it, but I've told you before, I wasn't the original host of Martial Arts Radio. There was somebody else who was going to host, and he decided to almost die. He's fine now, but he almost died, and, well, that meant he couldn't host the show. Good morning, Andy. And it says, the great philosopher Jagger once said, you can't always get what you want, but sometimes if you try real hard, you get what you need. And I would tend to agree. Thanks for coming by. I hope whether you are celebrating heritage, either by blood or by choice, you have an enjoyable day. I hope if you are not, you are still having an enjoyable day. I hope you have a lucky day. I hope things work out in your favor, all of them. I hope every single thing works out in your favor today. And here's the thing. If you choose to look at it that way, it will. Everything's a gift, whether it works out the way you want it to, or perhaps it's a lesson. It's all a gift. Be grateful. I'm grateful that you came by. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, the number one thing I'm asking you for in terms of support is checking out yesterday's episode of Martial Arts Radio and giving me feedback. Letting me know your thoughts. Did we miss something? Are there questions? Are there concerns? If there aren't, totally fine. Make sure you mark your calendar for episode 800. It will be live streamed March 27th. That's a Monday at 8 p.m. And if you want to go even further and help us out, you've got the Patreon. Patreon.com/whistlekick. I uploaded the improvised Irish accent at times is throwing me off. I uploaded some stuff yesterday to Patreon. You can also check out the family page. That's been updated this week, whistlekick.com/family. And you can make a purchase using the code FirstCup15 at whistlekick.com, like going to check out the new Friday the 13th mug, which is available at whistlekick.com. Yeah, you can get 15% off. I think there are 3 different sizes on it. I think there's a 15 ounce we haven't had a 15 ounce mug in a while, if I remember correctly. So go check that out. I appreciate all of you, each and every one of you, even those of you I've never met. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Peace.